Most people train to get stronger, fewer people train to be resilient, and almost no one trains to be anti-fragile. And that's why they break down when it matters most. And I'm not just talking about their bodies, but their spirit, their momentum, their confidence, their character. A single setback and it all unravels. One injury, one rejection, one unexpected curveball, and they're back at zero. Sometimes they don't just return to zero, they go backwards 10 steps. They lose all the progress they've made, physically and mentally, because they never learned how to use struggle as fuel. Anti-fragility is the exact opposite of that. It's not just about surviving stress, it's about growing from it. It's not just enduring chaos, but feeding on it. It's coming out of the other side sharper, faster, more dangerous than you were before. And that's not a mindset that you're born with. That is something that you train. But do you know what the problem is? The way that most people live today is training them in the opposite direction. We've become comfort junkies. We have built padded walls around our lives. Everything is planned, calculated, temperature controlled, filtered, and predictable. We have built this obsession with removing all risk. And sure, that makes you feel safe in the short term, but it also removes the very conditions that make you adaptable, dangerous, and unstoppable in the long term. If you remove volatility from your life, you also remove the opportunity for growth. And that's why I don't see movement as just exercise. It's not a calorie burn. It's not a box to tick on your fitness tracker. It's not just an hour that you get through before moving on with your day. Movement is the daily practice of anti-fragility. It is the constant rehearsal for whatever life throws at you. It's training your body and your mind to say, I will not be caught off guard. If you only think of training as aesthetics, as chasing the pump, as burning fat, as looking good under the gym lights, you are missing the point entirely. A great physique means nothing if it folds the moment that life throws something unexpected your way. You don't need to just be strong, you need to be ready, always ready. Nassim Taleb breaks it down into 3 categories. 1, fragile. It breaks down under stress. So it's like glass. You drop it once and it's gone. In people, this is the sedentary person that pulls a hamstring walking up a flight of stairs, or the weekend warrior who plays one game of basketball after a year off and blows out his knee. The second is robust. It withstands stress, but it doesn't improve from it. Like a brick wall, you can lean on it, hit it, and it stays the same. In people, that's a gym bro who's built some strength, but only in the exact controlled conditions they've trained for. Change their environment, remove their favorite lift, take away their belt or their shoes, and their performance falls off a cliff. And the third is anti-fragile, gains from stress. Like your immune system, give it exposure and it gets stronger. In people, that's the mover who thrives when the surface is slippery, when the load is awkward, when the conditions are unfair, when they are tired, or when the plan changes. They don't just handle it, they actually get better because of it. And here's the truth, most people don't really like hearing. Being robust is not the goal. Robustness is resistance. Anti-fragility is adaptation. Robustness says, I can take a hit. Anti-fragility says, I need the hit to get better. Robustness is about holding your ground. Anti-fragility is about growing stronger because you were knocked off it. This is why I align so hard with this concept, because it's exactly how I approach movement training. If your body only works in perfect form, under perfect lighting, in perfect shoes, with perfect equipment, you're not going to be ready for life. If your strength doesn't transfer to the real world, it's not really strength, it's choreography. If your training doesn't prepare you for chaos, you are just rehearsing for a stage that doesn't exist. Okay, so really quick, I want to share a resource with you that I have available. If you are currently feeling injured, stiff, broken, if you're a professional athlete looking to improve your mobility, my mobility toolkit is currently helping over 50,000 people in 40 plus countries, people ranging from all walks of life, complete beginners, professional athletes, men and women in their 70s and 80s. If you have 15 minutes to spare, this will work for you and it's going to produce dramatic results within weeks. Check it out. Let's talk about the average training session that most people do. Everything is predictable. The same warm-up, the same sequence, the same machine set at the same pin height with the same weight. The barbell never surprises you. The dumbbell never shifts in your hand. The ground never moves beneath your feet. You might get fitter in that micro environment, but outside of it, you're fragile. Now let's flip that. Imagine training where you don't have full control. You lift something awkward that shifts as you move. You step onto an unstable surface. You twist, bend, rotate, catch, swing yourself. You carry weight over distance instead of in one spot. That's when your body starts learning. That's when your nervous system gets sharper and starts adapting. That's when you're preparing for life, because life doesn't respect straight lines. It doesn't care about your program. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. I've seen countless people who think they are strong until something tiny breaks them. It's rarely the big obvious hits. It's the small, awkward, unexpected movements that expose all the gaps. The twist when you reach for something overhead, the stumble on uneven ground, the split second where you have to catch yourself. This is where my philosophy comes into play. I don't train to look good under the bar. I train to make my body impossible to catch off guard. If I can thrive in messy conditions, clean ones will feel effortless. There are 4 pillars I use to build anti-fragility in my movement practice. The first is load variability. Most people repeat the same lifts, reps, and angles for years. It's safe, it's predictable, and it's exactly why they stop adapting. You need variety in loading. You need heavy and light. You need fast and slow. You need clean and messy, controlled and chaotic. The barbell is fine, but so is carrying a couch, or hauling a heavy grocery shopping up the stairs, or sprinting on wet grass. Each scenario forces your body to adapt in new ways. Every time you deal with something unpredictable, your nervous system sharpens. And every time you're forced to figure it out on the fly, you are training anti-fragility. The second is range and complexity. If you are only strong in safe ranges, you're weak where it matters most. If you avoid extreme angles, you're not really protecting yourself, you're setting yourself up for injury. Train the deep squats, train the knees over toes, train the rotated lunge, the side bend, the back extension, the back flexion, the loaded reach. These positions feel awkward at first, and that is the point. If you can own these positions under load, they stop being dangerous and you become stronger. They become the weapons in your arsenal instead of the blind spot. 3, controlled exposure to stress. Don't avoid stress, dose it. Put yourself in uncomfortable positions on purpose. Hold them, load them, breathe in them, own them. That's how you teach your body and your mind that discomfort isn't danger. That's how you turn threat into stimulus. And 4, recovery as adaptation. Anti-fragile bodies don't just survive hard training, they bounce back faster. Recovery is not a passive process. It's a skill that you train, just like movement. You do your mobility, your breath work, your nervous system control, the ability to switch from high output to deep calm in minutes. If you can do all of that, you can handle more stress more often without breaking down. Everything I've just talked about movement applies directly to daily life. If you avoid difficult conversations, you become fragile in communication. If you avoid risk in business, you become fragile in decision making. If you avoid emotional discomfort, you become fragile in relationships. My philosophy comes down to 3 traits. Discipline, you show up every single day no matter how you feel. Accountability, you own the outcome no matter what, no excuses. And self-reliance, you do it because it matters, not because anyone's watching. Nobody's going to clap for you when you stay disciplined. No one rewards you for being accountable. But those habits make you anti-fragile. Movement is the perfect laboratory for this. Every single rep in chaos is a rep for life. Every awkward position you master is a lesson in adaptation. Every time you train without ideal conditions, you prove that you don't need them to grow. Taleb talks about black swan events, these rare, high-impact, unpredictable moments that change everything, the ones that you never see coming until they've already flipped your life upside down. And we have all lived through one recently. The pandemic was a black swan. It shut down businesses, stopped sports, stripped people of their routines, and exposed just how fragile most of us really were. And here's the thing, you cannot stop black swans from happening. You cannot bubble wrap your life and expect to be immune to disruption. The world is going to throw curveballs your way. Some of them small, some of them life-altering. The fragile will crumble. The robust are going to hold on, but they won't get any better. And the anti-fragile, they will grow in the chaos. They take that shock and use it as an accelerant. And here's the mistake that most people make when they try to prepare. They build walls. They think, if I can keep the bad stuff out, I'll be fine. But walls can be climbed. And once someone's over the wall, you've got no plan. Instead, I train my body and my mind so that no matter what side of the wall I end up on, I can adapt to the terrain. It's not about controlling the environment. It's about controlling yourself in any environment. When you train anti-fragility in movement, you are essentially running constant micro black swan drills. Every unpredictable rep is a simulation. Every awkward load, every unstable surface, every shift in a balance is rehearsal for the day that something you didn't see coming tries to knock you out. And when you have practiced that enough, chaos stops feeling like a threat. It starts feeling like a challenge that you can actually handle. And then eventually it starts feeling like home. It starts feeling like where you belong. That's when you've crossed the line from robust to anti-fragile. That's when you're not just surviving life, you are thriving in the parts that break most people down. Here's where I get brutally practical. Ask yourself right now, if I took away your gym, if I took away your program, if I took away your favorite shoes, your lifting belt, your music, your motivational coach, would you still train? Would you still perform? Would you still thrive? If the answer is no, that's your starting point. That's the exact area that you need to work on. Because anti-fragility isn't just about what you can do on an ideal condition. It's about what you can do when all the ideal conditions are gone. Start adding volatility into your training, not recklessly, but deliberately. Change the surface you train on, grass, sand, uneven ground. Train outdoors in the cold, in the wind, under the sun. Lift awkward objects, bags, stones, anything that doesn't have a perfectly balanced handle. Move barefoot to reconnect with the ground. And don't just change your equipment, change your rules. Switch up your workout at the last minute and see how your body and your mind react. If your training has been perfectly scripted for years, throw in a session where nothing goes to plan. You will be surprised at how much you learn about yourself when you are actually forced to improvise. Every time you adapt, you become harder to break. Every time you make yourself uncomfortable on purpose, you widen the range of situations that you can survive and thrive in. So remember this, the more variables you remove from your success, the less chance you're going to fail. If you only need yourself, your body, and some space to move, you cannot be stopped. Strength is overrated if it's fragile. Real power is adaptability. That's what anti-fragility gives you. That's what movement, trained the right way, delivers. It's not just about building muscle or fitness. It's about building a body and a mind that can handle anything. It's about turning chaos into fuel. It's about being ready for what you can't predict. If you're anti-fragile, nothing breaks you. Every setback makes you better. Every challenge makes you sharper. Every failure becomes a lesson that you cash in on later. And here's the final truth. The world isn't getting more predictable. It is not slowing down. It is not going to get any easier. So stop waiting for the right conditions to start. Build the skill of moving and living in all conditions. Train for chaos so you can live through it. Make yourself impossible to knock down. Don't just survive. Don't just endure. Feed on the chaos and come back hungrier every single time. Movement is a catalyst towards improving every area of your life. You have one body, one life, one chance. Use it well because you owe it to yourself to make your body perform at its highest peak physical condition, and it's going to transfer over into everything else that you do. Get moving.